Hello, my morbid pals. Let's get into a truly heinous true crime from Stockholm, Sweden in the late 1800s. Victorian crime. Yay! Always a good time. Let's get into it. The year is 1861 in Stockholm, Sweden. There lived a woman who was a very well-respected shopkeeper who will soon meet a grim end to a strange man. Who was that strange man? Well, his name was Pehr Göthe, and I'm gonna call him Goethe because most of the sources do. And he was gonna go ahead and be very brutal and commit one of Sweden's most shocking live subscription cancellations. It still lingers on in the Swedish true crime shadows. Either way, let's travel back to Sweden 1800s and discuss the terrifying murder of a Miss Anna Sofia Forssberg by Pehr Göthe. 1861. Like we said, it was spring in Stockholm, and by that time, Stockholm was a very thriving major port city. Among its inhabitants, we have the Miss Anna Sofia Forssberg. She was 34 years old, and she was running a little shop that sold candles and soaps in her home. So she had like a shop and home combination thing. Either way, it was in Hornsgatan, Södermalm. She was very, very well respected because of her morality and friendly nature. So everything for her seemed bright and secure. She was saving up a lot of the cash that she got in from her little business in hopes of having a cozy later part of her life, but fate had other plans. Enter Pehr Göthe. He was only 21, and for some time he was a lieutenant, but he had other ambitions, and those ambitions were just money. However he would get some money. He was though of a very low social standing, so not an easy task. I mean, you would actually just need rich parents to get rich during these days, or a very good business plan, but he didn't seem to be a very smart man. While he was still working as a lieutenant, a fateful day, it seems like a very, when I read the sources from the time, a petty argument ensued with his captain. But it ended up in a real ruckus, and some demeaning words were exchanged, and the captain provided a slap to the face to Mr. Göthe. His honor bruised, and just being a big old crappy person, he just left his work as a lieutenant and became a small-time criminal. For the years ahead, he was sentenced to petty theft 7 times. So that was his way of trying to get that cash bling bling. What else would you do? It's the late 1800s. So yeah, with his honor in shambles, his life just spiraled down and ended up in extreme consequences. And that's what we're getting to now. One day in early April, in the year 1861, our dear Anna was supposed to go with a friend at 10 in the morning to the church, I think. Like, go and listen to people talking, the priest and all that in the church. But Anna felt that she needed to change her dress. She wasn't dressed properly, so her friend went ahead, and Anna said that she would be there very shortly. During that short stint in her bedchamber trying to change clothing, our dear Mr. Goethe somehow stealthily managed to get into her home and into her bedchamber. What was he doing there exactly? Thing is, just a few days earlier, Göthe was out roaming the street as an idle little thief that he was, and he was able to peer into Anna's shop window, and there he saw her counting her coins and placing them in a nice little treasure box. He imagined to himself that she must have some kind of sizable stash of cash hidden, and his sinister plan molded from there, until he ended up right in front of Anna in her bedchamber. As the accounts say, I read a bunch of really old-timey accounts and they were very hard to read, but of course Anna is shocked that this random man is suddenly in her home when she's getting dressed, and she tried to run to her door, screaming, but Göthe was bigger, stronger, faster, and catched up with her. He had brought himself a knife, which he proceeded to stab Anna multiple times. One of them ended up in her left eye, the other right over her eye, and then a third in the back of her head. She fell over and fainted. They did not turn out to actually be fatal, although Göthe did seem like that was the case, and just walked over her body and ransacked every little corner of her room. While doing thus, suddenly Anna popped up. She was standing on her knees, making noises and almost screaming. So Göthe got stressed. When he was stabbing the first time, his knife actually broke, so now he had to go to, I'm guessing, Anna's kitchen, where he stole a very long kind of kitchen knife. And with this knife, as gruesome as it is, he went up to Anna and pulled her hair back and almost decapitated her. Yeah, and that was the end of poor Anna. But it sadly didn't stop there. He actually went ahead for good measure and violated her lifeless form. After committing these heinous acts, Göthe attempted to conceal everything by staging it like a robbery gone wrong, and he ran off with the cash he found and the bloody knife too. After a while, the friend who was just waiting for Anna to arrive started feeling a bit suspicious, a bit sus over it all, so she went to her home, her shop, to see what was going on. And of course, she found Anna's remains and a whole mess of drawers dragged out and blood everywhere. This discovery of this horrifying murder sent shockwaves through Stockholm. A good thing here was that they could very quickly arrest Göthe, because luckily her friend who had come there had seen him running all bloody out of the shop and could then identify him. So luckily enough, there wasn't like a huge chase going on, and he was already on the police's radar for other things, so yay. Göthe's trial became a sensation, during these days when people didn't have Netflix or TV. They wanted to keep up with this story. Göthe, for some reason, he was found with that bloody knife and 200 riksdaler, which is almost $130 or 1,300 Swedish crowns. So it wasn't like he got much out of it. Either way, Pehr Göthe was indeed found guilty for the murder and sentenced to demise. And almost a year after, on the 2nd of January 1862, he was executed by having his upper part departed from his lower part. And like I said, that was one of the last executions performed in Sweden before capital punishment was abolished. So yeah, that was my short little ramble into a heinous, senseless, idiotic, horrifying crime. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for all the support. It means everything to me. I mean it. Thank you, my heroes. If you have any fun ideas of short little ramble videos I can post for my members, please comment down below and I'll check them out. Either way, have an amazing rest of the day, week, month, year, life, everything. Stay amazing, stay hydrated, and most of all, stay morbid. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye!